Hey guys, Mr. Mbo again at Silverlining Taekwondo. So last time we covered how to properly execute a front stance, okay? So today we're gonna cover how to properly execute a back stance. Now you gotta understand, all these stances we are covering, these are your foundation for your martial arts training. Because everything you do from a white belt until you become a grandmaster, a 9th degree black belt grandmaster, you're always gonna work with stances. You're gonna do front stances, back stances, horse stances, or even rear foot stances, what some people call cat stances, okay? So we're gonna take some time to break down how to properly execute all of these stances. So today the focus is gonna be on back stance, all right? So now, a couple of things to keep in mind. Number one is when you're doing a back stance, your weight distribution is very important. Every time you are in a back stance, you must have 70% of your weight on the back foot and 30% of your weight on the front foot, okay? And your back foot needs to be turned 90 degrees to your side, with your knee directly above your toes, and your front foot needs to be straightforward with your knee directly above your heel. And in between your two heels, you must have about an inch. So if I'm gonna do a left back stance, and again, the name of the stance is after the weight bearing leg. So if I have my left leg back, that would be a left back stance. And if I have my right leg back, that would be a right back stance, just so you guys understand. In the case of a front stance, because it's a 50-50 weight distribution, the front foot, the stance is named after that. So if I do my right foot forward into a front stance, this would be a right front stance. And if I switch my feet, this would be a left front stance because the front foot, because my weight is 50-50. In the case of a back stance, so I have my left foot turned 90 degrees here to the side. I have about an inch gap between my heels right here, and this foot is straight forward. Now, what a lot of people do is they go too deep. When you go too deep, there is no way you can have your front knee above your heel or your back knee above your toes. If you are in a situation like this, then you understand your stance is a little too long. Move your foot back a little bit. So if you get in a proper stance, this knee is directly over your toes, and this knee is directly over your heel, and you have about an inch. So this will allow you to maintain your back straight. Now, if you turn your hip over a little bit to the right position, that forces your knee to get in that right position. This is a little bit easier on the joints actually to do it that way. Now from here, whatever I do with my hands is irrelevant. The most important thing I want you to focus on right now is this. So if I start in my jumbi position, the easiest way to know you have the right width between your heel is if you start in a proper jumbi position, where your feet are, the position is measured from the outside of your foot to the outside of your foot. All you have to do is pick up one foot and turn it sideways. You have that gap. This one just goes in a straight line, and you have your stance. So whether you're doing an outer forearm block, inner forearm block, knife hand block, none of this matters because this is what we are focusing on. So if I try that with my right, if my stance here is correct, as soon as I turn, you can see that gap. So if I'm too wide, when I do this, that's a big gap right there. So you know that perhaps your starting position was not correct. So you want to ease into it. Now, when I turn, that foot goes in the right position. This one just steps straight out, knee over my toes, knee over my heel, back is straight. Another key important thing is when you are in this stance, your body must be half facing. All right, which means your shoulders gotta face towards this 45-degree angle. If you are like this, it's very uncomfortable, and you don't have any power trying to deflect anything coming this direction. But when you are here, you can easily block, you can move into the counter, so there's a whole lot of stuff. When you are here, it makes it very difficult to come from the backside to do a counter that the opponent doesn't see. So, if I do my back stance, for the sake of this exercise, I'll do a back stance, knife hand block. So I turn my foot, chamber, knife hand block, and then I land. And if I do it on the other side, pivot, there it is, chamber, and then there's my block. Now, what I tell students sometimes, if I have this line as my reference, you see where the blue and the black mat meets, I want to make sure that my foot is going to be right on the edge of that black, and this one is right on the edge of that blue. So that way, this way, I can see that my gap between my two heels is correct, as long as I have my front knee over my toes and my back knee, front knee over my heel and my back knee over my toes. As long as I have that, then I know I have the correct width for that stance. All right, so key takeaways to conclude this video. Make sure every time you are in a back stance, you have about an inch between your heels, number one. Number two, make sure 70% of your weight is on that back leg. Number three, make sure your back knee is over your toes. And number four, make sure your front knee is over your heel. Your front toes are facing forward, your back toes are 90 degrees to the side, so you have like this 90-degree angle, okay? So as long as you have that, and you can continuously practice it to a point where you don't even need to think about it, you just step, and then it's right there. That's where we want to get to, all right? So keep working hard. We will see you in class. We're going to continue to work with you guys on that. And if you like these videos, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button at the bottom. We'll see you in class soon. Until then, keep on practicing, and let's make it real. Be your best.